Hello and welcome back to another episode of Second Player Press Starts. My name is James, and yet again I'm sitting here by myself in the dark in my studio, talking to you over the internet. If you don't know, usually this space is reserved for a much longer form podcast between my best friend Darren and I. Unfortunately, due to this global pandemic, we haven't been able to record as much as we would like. So, in the meantime, I am providing you with some shorter episodes that I'm kind of throwing up when I can. And today, I wanted to chat to you about a game that I've been playing over this past week, and that is Minecraft Dungeons. Minecraft Dungeons is available on Xbox, PC, Nintendo Switch, and PlayStation 4. It is a top-down isometric dungeon crawler. It plays a bit more like Diablo than traditional Minecraft, which for me is not a bad thing. I never really got too into Minecraft. I dabbled a bit in the creative mode, which was kind of fun for a little while. It's kind of like a glorified virtual Lego set. My kids, however, have sunk quite a bit of time into Minecraft, and they play it pretty much every day. And it's actually been a good tool for them to communicate with friends who have like the tablet version of the game, and they can play together no matter what platform they're on. So I have one son that's on the Xbox, another son that's on the Nintendo Switch, and they're talking to their friend who is playing on an iPad, which is just really cool, and I really hope more games are able to do that going forward. So I've only sunk a handful of hours into this game, but I'm actually really enjoying it. It's pretty simple, it's pretty straightforward, it's pretty easy, which makes sense because I think the target audience is probably more my kids than myself, and they've been having a blast with it on the Xbox. It plays really well both on a controller as well as a mouse and keyboard. I felt a bit more at home with the mouse and keyboard because it reminded me more of Diablo than anything else. It's a good kind of my first action RPG. Everything is pretty stripped down and pretty minimal, and I think that might be my only gripe against the game is maybe it's a little too bare bones. But for what it is and the fact that it was available on Games Pass, I think it's definitely worth your time to check out. Graphically, you won't mistake this game as like not Minecraft. It definitely has that blocky, kind of pixelated look. But the isometric perspective just adds so much more to the world and the enemies, and I really like the perspective of kind of this top-down isometric view. Because everything is so blocked and gridded, it just lends itself really well. The lighting's really good. It makes, dark, spooky areas kind of look dark and spooky, and kind of fields and, trees and stuff look really lush. I was really happy with kind of the visual style of the game and how it kind of improved on what is already there as the foundation of Minecraft. So one thing that I learned about the game after playing it is that the levels are procedurally generated, and that makes so much sense now that I know that information, because one of my gripes of this game is that these levels look really cool and they look like you just kind of want to go exploring. And there are a few little beaten paths that you can kind of go off in, but they usually end up bringing you to nothing, which is a bit of a bummer because a large part of the appeal of Minecraft is this kind of exploring nature. And I guess with a procedurally generated game, there's only so many variables you can really cover, unless you've developed a huge, gigantic game that is the original Minecraft. So with that said, and I think if you kind of set your expectations to what this game is, I still think there's a lot of fun to be had. Um, it looks like cross-play multiplayer isn't available yet, which is a bit of a bummer because I would love to play this game on my computer with my kids on the Xbox. They said that that is a feature that is coming. So I can't wait to kind of play this game with them because I think that'll be a lot of fun for both them and I. But yeah, I think it's a game that's kind of worth your time. I think it's going to be one of those games that I'll play for like 30 minutes, finish a level, and then kind of exit out and play something else. It's a good kind of palate cleanser game, if that makes sense. It's kind of like that in-between game that you play between games. If you're a gamer of any kind, I think that kind of makes sense. My only other critique of this game would be, since this is a Minecraft game, like the concept of crafting things isn't really in this game. You get experience points and you level up, and then you can attach those experience points to leveling up your weapons and your armor, which is pretty basic kind of light stuff. But the idea of the crafting that's from the original game isn't really brought into this game, which for me, I personally don't mind, but maybe that's something they could have explored. I kind of get the feeling that maybe this game is kind of a long-term project that will be added to over the years, and I kind of hope so. I think this is kind of the perfect game to kind of play in short spurts, and hopefully if they keep adding things and adding new worlds, it'll be a game that I'll keep installed and kind of go back to from time to time. With that said, I think that kind of concludes my thoughts on this game. I think it's definitely worth an install if you have Game Pass. If you're a fan of Minecraft, I think it's kind of a must-buy. So with that said, thank you again for watching and listening. You can find all of the information about our podcast on our website, secondplayerpressstart.com. And as always, I will end the episode by saying good night.